I know a lot of y'all may have heard of the Florida State shooting that happened the other day that pretty much took the news by storm. It turns out there early reports of this had like two active shooters, but so far they did catch one of them. I don't know if that. I guess the other one got away because I don't hear anything else about the second one. But they do have one person in custody right now by the name of Phoenix Iknar. And due to his antics, two people are now dead and six have been injured as of now. And it is a very very scary situation for those students in Florida State. But right now, I got a news clip I want to show you guys about the situation. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Shoulder. It has a pointed roof. It is surrounded by investigators right now, and many of the students who heard the gunshots ran across the street behind me to this church. We'll hear from some of them in just a moment. My nephew attends FSU. My son attended FSU. I had nieces that attended FSU, and like many of our viewers, you have friends, family, relatives. This has been a shocking day to think of what happened to this beautiful campus because somebody got a gun and decided to open fire. What was it like at that very moment? One of the students sent me this video. The sound of gunfire. We've now learned that that was a deputy-issued revolver. It belonged to one of the deputies, a student resource officer here in this county, whose son is the one accused of at least 2 counts of murder and injuring of so many others. There's at least 6 others that are dealing with injuries, not to mention the psychological impact that all of this campus and really all of Florida is feeling right now tonight. In terms of that news conference, I've heard a lot of news conferences after school shootings, unfortunately, but this one was so much different because it was a deputy's son and a deputy's gun that created this shooting massacre.
That is insane, dude. That is absolutely insane. The active shooter is someone who is the son of an active deputy on the police force in Tallahassee. Wow. Wow. That this is getting worse as we go on, but let's continue.
Here today. Take a listen.
But I will tell you this. We will make sure that we do everything we can to prosecute and make sure that we send a message to folks that this will never be tolerated here in Leon County, and I dare say across this state and across this nation.
The other thing about today, no school for the rest of the week, and there's also not a gathering that was called Active Against Hate. Ironically, that was canceled today as well. I bring in our reporter who has been on scene all afternoon. Sabrina Majori is with me. And Sabrina, you've talked with students, and I know that you've heard.
Okay. So, from what I've heard about this particular individual, he has some ties with some like white supremacist group, or for, at least that's what I hear. I don't know how true that is, but apparently he wasn't all the way there mentally, and for him to do this is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I mean, we just had a school shooting in, what was it? I think it was Dallas, Texas. It was from that one black kid who did it, who was 17. I think he was 17 years old, and he turned himself in. And then this happens right, like immediately the day after. This is some of the craziest shit that's going on in our country right now. And this has been going on ever since Columbine, which is one of the first ones that really, mass shootings at schools. Because before then, like a lot of this wasn't even happening. A lot of this wasn't happening. And now we live in a generation nowadays where there's more and more young people who are prone to just crash out and just throw everything away because things are going their way in their lives. and then they're going to learn the hard way. That's just not the way to go, because you're going to end up spending the rest of your life in prison, or you're going to be buried 6 feet in the ground, or cremated, or whatever the case may be, all because you made an emotional decision when that was not even needed. You decided to like take your anger and frustrations of whatever's going on in your life, and then take it out on people who had nothing to do with it. That's one thing I will never get down with. I will never agree with. I would never want someone to completely crash out so badly that you take the lives of innocent people. Ain't nothing cool. Ain't nothing. Nothing's good coming out of that. Nothing. But this is the world we live in now. We have more mentally deranged people with access to weapons, and does God knows what with those weapons to innocent people, which is then going to make it harder for law-abiding citizens to have weapons so they can protect themselves from idiots like this. Because then this whole thing will spark more of the whole, the gun control, which does not help anybody. All gun control is, at least in my opinion, is making it harder for law-abiding citizens to protect themselves. Because as you know, criminals, they're going to do whatever the hell they want. They don't give a shit about the law. But gun control is the answer, because a lot of those people are probably going to be like, oh yeah, this is why we need gun control. Da 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 da. And that sparks that whole conversation again. And for what? Because it takes one. That's all it takes. One total idiot to ruin it for the rest of us. To absolutely ruin it for the rest of us. And that's one thing I cannot stand. And now a lot of people are injured, 2 are dead. And then, things are going to change drastically on the campus from here on out. And I know none of those young men and women on that campus woke up this morning saying, "Hey, maybe there might be a mass shooting today." No one wakes up and thinks that. Now they're gonna have to take more precautions from here on out to prevent things like this from happening again. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think about this. I will leave the link to this news video right here. Is pretty long. I didn't want to play the whole thing necessarily, so I'm gonna leave the link in the description down below if you want to watch it. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, make sure you like, share, subscribe for more videos, and I am out of here. Peace.